Bracken, long time no see.
Hello,
Right.
everybody. Okay, we're live. So,
All right.
all right.
So on the group activity on iLearn, it says that full credit will be awarded for submitting on time and for following the requirements in item 5. And item 5 is use the template for the group assignments, which has the link to the Hangout on Air meeting, the best concept, and quiz back. Here's an example. So I don't know if there's a specific time limit as far as grading wise goes. According to that, I don't know what your guys' thoughts on that, but where did we see again that it needed to be an hour? Was it at the syllabus or I don't remember?
In the instruction here, it says you should meet with the group for 1 hour. During the hour, do the following. And there is a list of things and examples.
The first week would take a little bit, but after that, it might not.
I don't know. I don't know if it's a requirement made for an hour. Other classes I took it was. So, but anyway, we can talk about some questions that we have about the course and the use of the study guide.
Yeah.
Anybody has any questions, any suggestions?
I'll pull up my study guide.
Yeah, you looked at it.
Yeah. Okay, we're all good then. All right. So this point 2 says each of you take a turn sharing the example you came up with. As you do, let the other students ask questions to clarify. Discuss with the group whether the example shared is actually an example of the topic. Does it need to be modified in some way to be accurate? So I guess we'll all put our examples in the Google Doc. Sorry. We can go there maybe and start sharing our example and going through all of them. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the way I understood it was that you just had to provide an example of what the two definitions were. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like maybe
confused
I
on
didn't
what
do mine right.
It seemed odd, and I'm not quite sure how we put that into a question as far as like that's an exam question without it being like, is it inquisitorial or is it? I guess you could just say like have the example and say what approach is this, and you could have inquisitorial, adversarial. Two random.
I don't know. I don't know if the example has to directly relate to the question, but maybe it was just more for understanding, and then we can talk about a question. But I'm fine with using it and then asking people, is it inquisitorial or the other one?
Yeah, I'm good with that as well.
And then make two fake ones. I was just confused on how we were supposed to make that. I know that comes later, but I was just confused on how we were going to make that.
I think just like one of the quizzes that we take, it should have a question, and then, of course, one answer will be right, and some that will be very close to it, or sound to be fair, maybe as much as we can.
Right. Okay. Well, so what I did, I was, when I first looked at it, I had no clue what that meant. It didn't really make any sense to me. So I did some more research. So what I said, I kind of did, I think I did too much, but that's okay. So I said, John is the internal audit director of Morgan & Sons. John has been accused of embezzling money from Morgan & Sons and is brought before the court. So that's kind of like the intro. And then I have how a trial or how a verdict would come with an adversarial system and an inquisitorial system. So for the adversarial system, I said the prosecuting attorney brings different evidences and witnesses to prove that John is guilty. The prosecuting attorney is trying to find the soft spot of the jury and judge in which they will feel wronged by John personally. John's defense attorney does his best to deny all accusations and convince the judge and jury that John is a decent guy with kids and a family. Ultimately, the jury decides that John is guilty and is hit with a large fine and 5 years in prison. So that's the adversarial system, kind of with the the jury and the lawyers duking it back and forth. And the inquisitorial system is the judge starts off the session of court and sends a barrage of questions to the prosecuting and defense attorneys trying to gather the truth or any insight about the allegations brought against John. To better understand the situation, the judge brings in co-workers of John and also those who are his competition. The judge discovered emails sent from the John's email containing information about possible embezzlement and order those to be used as evidence in the courtroom. Ultimately, the trial judge decides that John is guilty and he's sentenced to prison for 5 years and a large fine. So I don't know. That's kind of what I thought of, like, because that's kind of what I got is from the adversarial. It's more like the lawyers going back and forth, and then the inquisitorial is kind of more of the judge doing more of the digging and questioning. I don't know. That's kind of what I got from it. It could be completely off. I just don't know.
No, you're right. Actually, I think you brought up two valid examples of adversarial system and inquisitorial system. I mean, in the first, you have the lawyers that are, they have the expertise that they bring to the trial, and then you have the inquisitorial, where the judge actually is the person that makes, the research and the question, and so I think you did a great job there. I'm not sure if I can take any problems with.
No, thanks. So those are just kind of my thoughts on that. Who's next?
Who's going next? I can go next. Let me see. Let me go to my next page. Okay. Let me read the same. Okay. This is just kind of a precursor before my example. I said the same events happened in two countries. The USA. One second. The USA and Germany. That was an example they gave as one that actually used the inquisitorial book. Someone steals from a company, and the company presses charges against their employee. In Germany, the case comes to the court where the judge looks at the evidence and interrogates people. Then he or she, the judge, makes the best decision based on the information they got. In the USA, both parties hire lawyers who gather evidence in favor of the client. Then they go to court where they lay evidence out in front of the court, interrogate different people. The neutral judge and jury then make the best informed decision.
That's very good.
Jury. Yeah, and even reading that, I was able to fix a few things. So.
Yeah, that's really good. I think it's a lot more simple, but I think, it takes the lawyers out of it with the inquisitorial system, which I put in, which I like taking the lawyers out because it's all about the judge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the fixes that you made there, Landon. As you were, I'm following you along there, and as you were talking about it, I was like, oh, you can fix that, and then you were fixing it as you're going along. So yeah, I like the changes that you made there.
Sweet.
So I can go next, and so this isn't the one I got. I'm using my wife's computer right now, so I actually don't have my example, but I just came up with a quick one. It's very similar to the one that I wrote. If I can remember what I wrote off the top of my head. It just says Austin was in a car wreck. He decides that he would like to take Justin, the person who hit him, to court. He thinks that it would be that he would like the adversarial approach, which is where the lawyers do the investigating and the questioning to find out how they want to proceed. And Justin would like the inquisitorial system, where the judge would ask the questions, and then ultimately the judge would determine who is at fault with both parties.
That's good.
So it's kind of a simple. I wasn't 100% sure. The way I read it, I was just like, oh, provide an example. So those are my examples from what I gathered from it, I guess.
Right.
Points.
I can go next if you guys want. Okay, so I did a little bit like brackets. I mean, I tried to follow the example that they gave us, so that I don't have the whole scenario. But Mr. Brown's house recently had a fire, causing significant damage. The insurance company has determined not to cover the damage. Mr. Brown believes that there is adequate evidence from the fire chief investigation to justify an insurance payment. he is researching to find an attorney with expertise in insurance law and a successful track record for his clients. So I rely on the expertise of the attorney to conduct the research and investigation.
So in your example there, you would be using the adversarial system. Is that correct?
There's yes.
Okay.
Good.
I can go. I just did an example of a pedestrian and vehicle incident. And I'm kind of more of a definitions person, so I find things with definitions rather than examples. So the example thing was kind of hard for me. Basically, with the adversarial, each side explains what happened. The accused is presumed innocent until proven guilty. Facts are given from each side, and then the judge makes their decision. And then with sorry, I cannot say this. Inquisitorial, the accused is presumed guilty unless he can prove otherwise, and then the judge questions to try to get him to admit his guilt. So that's good.
That's good. So am I incorrect in saying I'm not quite sure how much you guys know about all this stuff, but are there any juries in an inquisitorial court?
I do not think so.
Because it's kind of just the judge being like,
yeah, from all my
gathering
readings,
the facts, making the decision. It's not really a jury.
Yeah, it seems like it's the judge that makes the decision.
I was just thinking about like what questions we could ask and like what the key points of each were. So I think that's an important point. Like if we do use an example where it's inquisitorial, we should say like this judge, or if we do adversarial, make sure we have a lawyer in there, make sure we have a jury in there, and just those specific points. Just trying to think of a question we can ask.
Okay, so I think we have to choose an example, one of the one that we wrote, and then transform that into a quiz question with possible answers. That's what I think we should do.
Mm-hmm.
At least if you guys see on the template, that's what.
Yeah.
It's online. I know it's not easy, but I think we all have great examples here. I mean, we just got to agree on one of these, and yeah, Weston is awesome because it goes, so much beyond mine, for example. But
I like
yeah,
Landon.
Weston, way to go, making us look bad, man.
Hey, that's what I do.
Oh, we needed me. I'd like to make it in the middle though, just because I know these guys are writing questions for us too, and I don't want to show them the wrath.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we can, I mean, if we do something, if we like take Landon's example and just start with someone steals from a company, the company presses charges, and then we can just take out the in Germany. The case comes to the court where the judge looks at the evidence and interrogates people, then he or she makes the decision, blah, blah, blah. Like, I think if we just make, and like, this is an example of what approach: inquisitorial approach, adversarial approach, something random approach, and we just make two other things up. Because that's kind of what I think they wanted. They want the right answer, something close, and then two randoms is kind of.
I just saw that we're copy and pasted. A couple things that I would want to change is when it says then he or she, you should clarify that and put the judge instead of he or she.
Right.
And so yeah, I don't know where he just copied or pasted that, but if we can make that just like make it a little more specific on who he or she is.
Yeah. Make sure that they fully understand that it's the judge and not, an attorney or something like that.
Based on their findings.
There you go. Do my homework for me.
Yeah. So then we would just have like that. Someone steals from a company and the company presses charges against their employee. Take out the in Germany. The case comes to the court where the judge looks at the evidence and interrogates. Looks at the evidence.
Hey guys, if you go to the meeting with your group, they have some examples that can help us maybe to make our sample, into a question, and then extrapolate the answers from it.
Is this in iLearn?
Yeah.
Gold.
I think it'll be easier that way. So, do we choose for sure which one we want to use?
I think we're going to use Landon's. We're just going to use like half of it.
Yeah.
So someone steals charges, or someone steals from a company. The company presses charges against their employee. The case comes to court where the judge looks at the evidence, interrogates individuals, and then maybe one other thing. Then the judge makes the decision based on their findings.
How many wrong? 3 wrong answers?
Mm-hmm. This is most likely. I feel like all of the quiz and exam questions are, this is most likely. It's in law, so you never quite know, but it's most likely this.
I'm not looking forward to these exams, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Okay, looks at the evidence. Just gonna change individuals. So I think if we do that, and then we take that, and so I'm on the Google Doc, if we put that to the quiz question.
Questions down at the bottom. Yeah, there it is.
And then the correct answer would be, so what does it mean by we do an example and then quiz question? I guess that's what you were talking about, Chris. So we should go to the thing and see the example. Probably.
Oh.
I don't know, maybe one possible question would be, what is Germany law system? Is it inquisitorial or?
Yeah, we could do that. I think the only thing is if
Do we know that answer?
My thing is you don't need to memorize who has what approach. You just need to know what the approach is.
Right,
yeah.
kind of go more
You know what the
principle based.
Yeah, mine wasn't an exercise of memorizing. It was just distinguishing what kind of law the United States has and what kind of law Germany has. That's it. I mean,
Yeah.
Germany has Italy. I'm from Italy, and we have inquisitorial, where the judge, there's a code for every violation, and the judge decide based on that code.
Hmm. So in this Google Doc, I'm looking. Does that? I see we put that under quiz question. Do we put that under our example and then have a question based on that example? Is that what that means?
I think you can. I think you're supposed to make an example kind of based on what everyone said. You kind of have like a final group example.
Okay, that's fine.
And then
That makes sense.
But if we give an example, then it's not going to be a quiz question because it'll answer it for him.
Well,
I don't know if that goes in the exam or the quiz.
I think they're like separate things. Like I think he's just going to take the quiz question and put it on.
Yeah.
Something.
Okay.
hey guys, I still think we need to look at the examples in our meeting group.
Yeah.
Yeah, where are you seeing that? I'm not finding that.
It's in the iLearn.
So it's under due date 2.
Under due date 2.
Mm-hmm.
Under the instructions?
Yeah, the group meeting, and then I think it's in number 5. It says like you can view the example here, and then it's downloaded. Download a Word document.
But didn't we Didn't we already provide all of our?
We did our
Oh.
single examples, but I think we as a group need to come together and
We need
just
a group one.
fine-tune one, is what I'm guessing.
Yeah, we already chose Landon. So from that example, now we have to make a question. And from that question, we're going to probably have to have multiple choices. And one of those will be right. The other ones will be close enough, but not right.
It is all tied together then.
I like how they did their answer. I mean, we could just do A, inquisitorial, B, the other one, or we can do like 2 of each and have them tell us why it's that one. If that makes sense.
I think that's the bad example of how not to do it.
What do you mean bad example? There was no bad example here.
Yeah, they pretty much just telling you don't just make a a easy cheesy question with a very simple answer.
That's what I'm saying is give them 2 options. Like say inquisitorial for 2 answers, but say like why? Why is it the inquisitorial? Because 50-50 chance you're gonna. I mean.
And then the why, like one of the why parts is wrong and one of them is right.
Right. The only thing I was saying is, like you're saying, it says this question is okay. There is only one correct answer. The other 3 are clearly wrong, but I don't think it will help students understand the topic.
Let me see if I can find this. Oh, wait.
So it says it will only help identify the correct definition. So there's a better way to formulate a question and answers. If you want, we can read it and go through it and discuss about it.
What's the title of the document that you're looking at?
It's called Meet with Your Group, Instruction for Group Meetings.
Because what I'm looking at the sample group assignment. So I'm looking at the
That's what I
actual
was looking at.
assignment.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna try to guide you guys over there. Hold on a second. So if you go to content, and you go to week 2, and then group activity concepts and weekly study, group instruction.
Okay. And here's our example, or an example.
Hold on. Then you go to number 4, following document about group meetings. Refer to the following document about group meetings. Click on that. And then you have instruction for group meetings. And that's what I was following the points.
I see. Okay.
It's a kind of long explanation of everything, but it's pretty clear. I mean, it gives you an example of how not to do it, an example of how to do it.
My only problem with this course, at least with this, is for me, their correct answer was it a good idea for Bill to share this information with Nancy? That to me, that's so subjective that you could say, well, yeah, maybe it was a good idea, and maybe it wasn't, and you could go both ways. And I understand that they have the reasoning behind it, but it's hard for me to understand why that is the best answer when it's subjective, when it's not a clear-cut answer. Yeah, maybe that's why I'm not a lawyer, but so I need to look on.
If you want, we can read the thinking behind it.
Yeah, and so if you go down to the very, very bottom of this document, this is what I was talking about. This kind of an example that we could, or a question that we could do, where we state our example, ask them which one it is, and you see how A and C both are no, but there's different reasons behind it. And so we can say like inquisitorial for each and then give different reasons behind it with only one of those being correct. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So inquisitorial because of the extensive use of a jury or, or whatever.
Yeah, something like that. And we can, yeah. No, we don't have to do that. I was just thinking giving more options rather than being A, inquisitorial, B, this. So just my thoughts.
Yeah, I think that sounds about right to me. It seems.
So, shall we start with the question first, and then we'll come up with the answers? What do you think?
Yeah. We can't.
So,
He's still there, or did we lose him?
Oh, he muted himself.
Chris, where'd you go?
oh, hold on a second, guys. Hold on.
Hopefully, you guys didn't miss me. My computer died.
Nope.
Didn't even skip a beat.
Didn't miss one bit.
I know it.
Emily, where are you from?
I'm in Waco, Texas.
Waco. I served my mission in Fort Worth.
Woohoo!
Landon, how about you? Where are you from?
Yeah,
From
Landon.
living.
Well, yeah, from, I guess.
Nevada, baby.
You seem like a Nevada guy.
Yeah, he
Sure.
does.
That gambling life.
Yeah.
Real jealous man.
You seem like an are you an Idaho born, Bracken?
No way.
Hmm.
I was actually born in Utah.
Oh, okay. You're raised a farmer though? Raised
No,
in Idaho?
not raised. No farming. No way.
You do kind of seem like a farmer.
Right?
Farmer?
That's
That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
I take that as an insult.
Okay, guys. So, in the Google Doc, we put the example, and then now let's give it an explanation of our example. There is no explanation in our instructions. So let's explain to others what our example is about, and I can type it if you want.
Okay. So we talk about how the adversarial approach is commonly used in the United States, where there are attorneys representing clients, presenting evidence, arguing with the jury, stuff like that.
It's a lawyer-based system.
Yep. Yeah, Bracken, you should be all over this. Your pop is a lawyer.
Dude, tell me about it.
How do you know that?
How do I know that?
Yeah. It's like he works with me or something.
LinkedIn, man.
My LinkedIn.
Oh, through LinkedIn. Oh, that's cool. Maybe I should add you guys. Can be good references for me.
Don't you dare ask for a reference from me.
Emily would probably give me a reference, right?
Yeah, sure.
See? All right.
I've worked in several law firms.
Well,
It's not my thing. I've decided.
Too much reading.
Business?
So this is my last semester. My degree is like university studies, so there's like all sorts.
Okay. Yeah.
But I also went to paralegal school for a year, so I have my certificate in that.
Ooh. I see some diplomas and things hanging on the wall in the back. That's impressive. I have like a whiteboard.
I really like working in an office. It's just like the legal stuff doesn't really interest me like I thought it would. And then like, no offense against attorneys because I have attorneys in my family too, but I just don't really like working with them. I don't know, at least the ones that I've worked with, like all of them were just
Try living with one.
Weird.
Yeah.
Uh,
Never win an argument, do
it's
you?
true. I'll just say,
Definitely not.
I don't know.
So what are we call? What is adversarial and inquisitorial? Are they like approaches, or what is like
I think that's what it said was an approach.
approach? Because when we do the question, so we have
If
like
they call it that, I would think it'd be more like a, I don't even know. Like it's not just an approach. Like you don't
Like
choose
it's a
what you do.
system,
It's kind
right?
of
yeah, what
the
type of law
system.
system or what type
Like
of
Yeah, I would think it's more of a system, but I think the book
System,
calls it an
yeah.
approach.
okay legal system? How about that?
There you go.
Okay. What type of legal system? So for like we have the quiz question, like the steal, the judge makes the best decision. While Chris is doing the explanation. So what type of legal system does this
Let me see
best?
what it says in our example assignment. We're group 8, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
It says approach in here. In model, it says 2 different things. That's weird. Using an inquisitorial approach compared with the adversarial model. So basically, use what you want.
What type of legal approach is this example best, or does this something best? Something. What type of legal approach is this? Best defined, best exemplify, best.
What type of legal approach does this best?
It's not defined. I'm trying to find a good word, you know?
I would just say, what type of legal approach is this? Or what type of legal approach is explaining this example? Used in this example.
Then the correct answer would be inquisitorial. And then we'll do like, because it's a hard word to spell. On this, her findings.
Sorry, fixed it. It said there, but there's only one judge, I think, right?
Yeah, probably. Fix it now, buddy. Just kidding. All right.
Here we go.
Okay, so correct answer. So we'll just do okay, correct answer.
Because it is judged and jury based? Or judged based. Oh, I don't even know. Not jury.
Yeah. Okay, so let's just do one separate time. Then the wrong answer one would be inquisitorial. Oh, well, I guess we'll just do, we will do that one, but adversarial. I had no clue, no idea or clue what these things were before. I had no idea there's different systems.
Are y'all just taking this class just because, or are you wanting to go to law school?
Just so we don't get fined.
Sure.
I'm taking it for, you need to take it for accounting. So that's what I'm taking it for.
I'm accounting as well.
Oh, super weird. I'm an accountant as well.
No way, you guys are all accounting majors?
No way.
That's pretty cool.
So on the because, we could put like inquisitorial and adversarial because and put the exact same thing, like inquisitorial because it's judge based or whatever, and then adversarial because it's judge based.
Yeah, okay.
Just so they could.
I like that.
That way that they have to really define if it's.
And then we just swap it for the other 2 answers if we have to give other answers.
Getting rid of all this bracket stuff. It's confusing me.
Is Kristen typing?
Yeah, I think we just finished up the example.
Okay, so are you guys okay with the explanation?
Oh, let me go look in at it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. There's one too many spaces here, but
Okay,
we're good
page.
there.
Oh, here too.
Okay, maybe I'm just uneducated, but what does that mean?
Where are you?
Oh, success. Is that?
Definitely just uneducated.
Helps to sort it out.
Yep. Okay, that's an education.
That's an education. Yeah, Weston, didn't you know that?
Yeah, well, give me another 50 minutes while I go look up what that
Ask
means.
Siri what it means.
Hey, Siri.
Do y'all know each other?
What was your first guess? Yeah, we do. We work together.
Okay.
I'm not normally this rude to strangers.
I don't know. Landon's a pretty friendly person.
Yeah, that looks really good, Chris.
Oh, so are you all y'all in Rexburg right
All
now?
right, so now
Here we are.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay, so inquisitorially because adversarial because inquisitorial because adversarial because. Oh.
So, guys, I was reading the quiz question. I don't know. It seems to me that the question have to be directly related to the example that we chose. And we can submit it like this and get feedback from the instructor.
Sorry, I missed that. What was that?
Okay. So you're saying that the example that we give needs to be directly tied to our quiz question. I just
Yes, if you go to the meeting, the group meeting instruction, it seems to me it says, number 3 says, decide as a group on one example to use to explain the concept of to the class. So the reason why we all had to come up with an example, it was just to, in the end, to choose one of them. And our questions should be that example. And the answers, of course, have to be based on our example, which will become a question.
Which that technically will still be fine because the example we give was just a longer version of mine, and then in the quiz question we just narrowed it down, right?
Yeah, that's the way I see it.
We can't give them all the information.
Right. Yeah, we couldn't. Yeah, we couldn't create a question with both inquisitorial and adversarial, right?
That's just, yeah, I feel like that's overload.
Yeah. I feel like that would be a really rough question.
And he says even if there's like problems with the question or whatnot, he'll fix it if he needs to, based on like difficulty level, I think.
Yeah, it's hard because we're doing two different things. We're trying to compare and contrast something and then combine that into one question, and so it's pretty hard as far as that goes. I think we have a pretty decent. I think we have a pretty decent setup here, where we have explaining it. We have the example, we explain the example, and then it's not, well, but it does come exactly from the example. So our question is someone steals from a company, the company presses charges against their employee. So that comes straight from the example. We then put it in the quiz question, and then we ask what type of legal approach is used in this example. Just like the sample group assignment was like Bill's the CEO of a computer company, he talks with Nancy and reveals he's been using the company car. Then the quiz question is that whole thing, and was it a good idea for Bill to share this information with Nancy?
Does anybody know when or where we're going to be, like, the other class is even going to read this example? Because they're not going to get this document because it has the quiz question unless he deletes the quiz question off of it. So I don't even know where this example, like, where are they even going to see it?
I don't know.
I think
they will.
I think he just wants to see that we know the example and everything.
Yeah.
Then he takes the quiz question. and then the answers that we give, like whether they be right or wrong, and then puts them into like an iLearn format to then quiz everyone on them. Hey, so at least we get 1 out of 10 on the quiz, right?
Here we go.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Except unless he changes it and then we get it wrong. But so I see that our quiz question does come from the example and we're just adding on a question to it. So I think it's fine, but that's just me. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it looks great.
What are your thoughts, Emily?
Yeah, I like it. I think you just have to make sure that, like, read it as if you weren't the one thinking of these examples or didn't really know about it besides the reading. And are you able to answer the question? That's how I would look at it.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, let's do that.
But yeah, I think it's good.
The case comes record. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a pretty solid question.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think you can answer it from the reading, right? I mean,
Yeah,
I don't know about you guys.
I know we don't have to do it this way, but it's almost like the exact same like format of a question that he said he liked best in the document that Chris led us to.
Right.
So at least we know the format he likes. We know the content's real, like it's the right answers. So I think it's good.
So I guess my point is this. If we formulate a question, the answers shouldn't be yes or no or something that simple. That's what I'm saying. Because that wouldn't really help people to understand.
Yeah, and that's not what the answers will be. We're thinking of answers right now that
inquisitorial,
kind of
adversarial, and then a little bit more. Okay, so let's just start with the correct answer. It is inquisitorial because why?
It's inquisitorial because it's a judge-based system, or judge-based, or not a judge-based, a lawyer-based approach.
It confused me. It's judge-based, Bracken.
Oh, it is judge-based approach. I was right.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so inquisitorial because this is a judge-based approach to the legal system. And then it'd be adversarial because this is a judge-based. It's like the same thing, making people think, well, I do, like if we did that, and then, so now they have to know, okay, is it inquisitorial or adversarial? Then there's going to be another inquisitorial saying, because this is a jury-based approach. And so now they're going to have to know both, is it inquisitorial or adversarial, and what does that actually mean?
Right.
That kind of...
Yeah.
And a lawyer, or jury and attorney and jury.
Yeah.
Attorney and jury-based approach. I just need to explain why.
Like the feedback, is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So then, so because, you know, you take the quiz and it's like, oh, this is the correct answer. Like, click here for feedback. And it says, wrong because this, whatever.
I mean, that's the definition of it. I don't even know what to say more.
Yeah, could we use the explanation? Is that where the explanation comes into play?
What explanation are you referring to?
The one right above the quiz question. Could you just plug that into the correct answer feedback? I mean, does that make sense?
Oh yeah. So like in the inquisitorial system, the judge derives. I mean, I'm fine with that. I think because I've done I've taken quizzes where when they have the feedback, it's just, it takes you directly to like the reading. And so for us, our explanation.
Oh man, sorry.
Oh, I see. Okay, I was so confused for a second.
Okay.
Okay, what if we throw a wrench in the system and put another system of law, the lex talionis or the law of Talion, eye for an eye?
Yeah, that'd be fine. We did that for. Would we want two inquisitorials, and so they have to have inquisitorial and know if it's attorney and jury or judge based? So do we want to keep? So essentially, do we want to get rid of an inquisitorial wrong answer or an adversarial wrong answer?
I mean, for me at least, I mean, not all people look this far into questions, but if there's two answers that are the same, I usually know that's the answer. I just have to discern which one has the right definition behind it. So, I mean, I would at least keep in, because I mean, there's pros to leaving it or taking it away, I guess. I would leave it if you ask me.
Okay, Emily, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I don't know how like easy it's supposed to be. Not that it's easy, but like
Yeah.
how easy is it to narrow down? Yeah.
Like I said, that he'll change it for how easy he thinks it needs to be, or hard if we do it too easy. And I don't think he's gonna dock us points on that.
But I mean, I think it's okay to just like focus the answer choices on those two.
Yeah. Because that's what we're really highlighting here.
Yeah, I think we should leave it
like that is what the focus is of the question.
Especially with that being our topic, like it's good for them to know, even though our answer is not based on both of them, they should know that those are the two methods that are available.
You're still having to think of the differences between the two. And I think that should be the point of the question.
So we'll just continue on then as system. And so for like the wrong answer number 2 with the inquisitorial wrong answer, we can say, although this is full of the inquisitorial system, there is a thing. The adversarial approach focuses heavily on attorneys and juries.
Do you imagine if he actually watched this whole thing to make sure we were doing stuff?
Yeah.
I bet he looks at the time. I bet he'll just look at the time and see if we fill it out.
Or like he'll start at
random
10 minutes, yeah, and then like 17 minutes. Whenever I watch super long videos that I don't have to watch like all the way, that's what I do.
That's why they come with transcripts so you can control find.
He spelled juror. Why is it not letting me jury? Juries. What's the multiple of? What's the
jurors? Yeah.
Jurors.
Because it said on it.
I guess jurors is correct. Like that works as well.
Okay. And jurors, not the Inquisition.
Yeah.
The adversarial approach focuses heavily on. That kind of doesn't really make sense. I mean, it makes sense, but it's. So we'll just say this is an example of a inquisitorial system. However, the adversarial approach focuses heavily on attorneys and jurors, not the inquisitorial system.
Yeah, I like that.
That's better. Okay.
That's good.
All right, adversarial, because this is an attorney.
All right, guys, I wrote the feedback for number 1.
Okay, this is incorrect. Well, it is a judge-based system. It is not an adversarial approach. Good. Okay, so we just need the wrong answer 3 feedback. All right. Nose goes. Who wants to do that one? All right. Who's got AOL open or something?
That was definitely my Facebook messaging.
Landon?
I apologize. It's not on that tab though. Currently.
Now Brother Christensen's gonna know he's gonna fail us all.
All right.
Yeah. Example 3 is just like wrong. Let's say
Yeah.
you should just
All right.
give up. Because I got both wrong. I mean, it had a 75% chance to get at least like half the question right. So if they click that one.
All right, looks like we got it done.
Yeah, I mean we're at like 95 minutes. I don't think the 5 minutes is gonna really
95,
Worry about
52.
95?
95 minutes?
Did I say 95? Is that 55?
Okay, it's late. You understand? It's late for
Great
you
counting
too.
skills there.
You
Use
heard
your
what,
skills
you
there.
heard what I meant.
You heard-
I thought y'all were accounting majors. Aren't you like into numbers?
Yeah.
We're not very good at them.
We
just kidding.
approximate. 55 and 95 are really close when you're talking millions.
Yeah. Coming from the guy who's still dressed in his work attire.
Hey, down. It's unbuttoned. I'm the lad.
I envy you. It's 9 o'clock. You're a trooper.
Okay, well, so are we gonna have to do this every week then, as far as like
Yeah.
making a format of?
I'm going to add the link of this video and submit it, I guess.
Okay, let's see. Do we want to keep the our previous examples, or we just want to erase those parts? I don't think we really need them, right?
The personal ones?
Yeah.
I think we do have to. Oh, wait. Or did you add those?
Well, I mean, I just added it. I don't know. I just added that so we could kind of all look at it instead of just reading it. I don't know if we.
You can delete it if you want to. I don't think it'll dock us points.
It doesn't matter. I don't think he'd care.
Tom,
What?
Yeah,
All right. Well, let's just keep them then. It's fine.
yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. I'll put them at the bottom though, so it's not.
And only one of us has to upload this, right?
Yes. So since Chris started the call, he's the one that's going to have the link. So he's going to put that into the link to Hangout on Air recording right here.
Okay.
And then he uploads it.
And the rest of us don't have to submit anything.
Right.
I think we're done for the week after that. I mean, if you finished.
Right. If we've done everything.
All right, guys. I guess we got an hour. I'm going to stop the broadcast. And,
All right.
Whew. We made it.
See everyone next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Weston, you're gonna start the class meeting next week.
That's right. I'll set up a Google Doc just like we did. Because I assume we just do the same. It's basically the same thing, just different topics. So yeah, I'll set up the Google Doc since you did that this time, Chris. Then I'll set up the Hangout as well. And yeah, I think we did good work. So.
All right.
All
Later.
right, same time. Bye.
Okay. Next week. See ya.